have this one from Not the Bee. Looks like the Pope defends award for pro-abortion senator, says those who favor inhuman treatment of immigrants or the death penalty are not pro-life either. That's from the Pope, what the Pope is saying. Catholic Church recently came under fire after the Archdiocese of Chicago planned to give Senator Dick Durbin a Lifetime Achievement Award. Senator Durbin is a lifelong pro-abortion activist. Yikes. Yikes indeed. Yikes indeed. To his credit, Durbin declined the award, but Cardinal Blas J. Kupiec, Archbishop of Chicago, issued a statement in response. While I am saddened by this news, I respect his decision, but I want to make clear that the decision to present him an award was specifically in recognition of his singular contribution to immigration reform and his unwavering support of immigrants, which is so needed in our day. No. Just no. That's look, these people are not, followers of Christ. They're not. They're working at political ends and using their faith for those political ends. This is not immigration reform. No, we need to kick all the illegals out, and then we can work on fixing the system. The point right now needs to be shut it all down, and then we can start working on getting these people out of here, and then maybe we can talk about bringing them back, bringing some of them back anyway, and the proper way. The Pope was approached by a journalist about the controversy, and his response was interesting. So Pope Leo XIV weighs in on Cardinal Kupiec's decision to honor pro-abortion Senator Dick Durbin, saying, quote, I think that it is very important to look at the overall work that this senator has done during, if I'm not mistaken, 40 years of service in the United States Senate. Let's see this whole tweet. I understand the difficulty and the tensions. Right. Oh, here, let's just watch the whole video, because if he's going to say all that, let's actually listen to his words if he's going to say all that.
Just wanted to ask one thing that has become a bit of a divisive subject in the U.S. right now, with Cardinal Kupiec giving an award to Senator Durbin. Some people of faith are having a hard time with understanding this because he is or rather, he's for legalized abortion. How would you help people of faith right now decipher that, feel about that, and how do you feel about that?
I'm not terribly familiar with the particular case. I think that it's very important to look at the overall work that a senator has done during, if I'm not mistaken, 40 years of service in the United States Senate. I understand the difficulty and the tensions, but I think, as I myself have spoken in the past, it's important to look at many issues that are related to what is the teaching of the church. Someone who says I'm against abortion but says I'm in favor of the death penalty is not really pro-life.
That's incorrect. That is absolutely incorrect. I have never read the Bible myself, but people that have read the Bible have told me some secondhand information, right? Secondhand information. It is my understanding that is not true. You are absolutely allowed to give capital punishment to people that are deserving of it. You need to have all the evidence available. I don't ever want to put a man to death that is undeserving of it. You need to have all the available evidence. You need to have actual proof before you carry it out. But no, absolutely, the government is allowed to enact capital punishment, and that does not go against the teachings of the church, whether you follow the Pope or you're just a regular Christian. Based on my understanding, the teachings in the Bible does not prevent capital punishment. So that's absolutely ridiculous to say that. And to even compare the two, he knows what he's doing here. To compare the two, we're talking about an innocent, unborn child that can't defend itself, and we're talking about a career criminal that likely committed a heinous crime that no human should ever commit, and they need to be put to death for it. We're talking about two completely different things. We're talking about an innocent life being killed for convenience of the parents, and we're talking about a criminal, likely a murderer or otherwise. Two completely different things.
So someone who says that I'm against abortion, but I'm in agreement with the inhuman treatment of immigrants who are in the United States. I don't know if that's pro-life. So they're very complex issues. I don't know if anyone has
The inhuman treatment of immigrants in the United States. Dude, what are you smoking? What are you smoking? We're sending these people back home. We're sending these people back to where they belong. They don't belong here in the United States. If they belonged here in the United States, they would have a proper visa, they would have gone through the proper channels, or they would have citizenship. If they don't have those, they're not allowed here. How many people do they let in the Vatican? Not a lot. Why are you not accepting the illegals? Huh? Why don't you take some immigrants? So show us how to treat them.
all the truth on them, but I would ask first and foremost that there be greater respect for one another and that we search together both as human beings, in that case as American citizens or citizens of the state of Illinois, as well as Catholics, to say we need to really look closely at all of these ethical issues and to find the way forward as church. Church teaching on each one of those issues is very clear. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it is very clear, and you're not following the teachings. Like Bach said in the chat, the Pope is a politician with a pointy hat. Well, I mean, that's not a very pointy hat, but he does have a pointy hat. I know what you mean. Pope is just a dude, and people worship him like he's holy. And I know it's absolutely ridiculous. That's why I do not subscribe to any of these religions. If I were to subscribe to a religion, it would probably be Christianity because they have it the most right. But I wouldn't ever follow a single person who is just a human being like me. I would never follow him blindly. And I also don't want to follow any of the books that were written by people because I can't guarantee that what they're writing is being translated correctly. And what I mean, and I'm not talking about translated from different language to different language, what the Bible is supposed to be is teachings from God. Well, how do I know that the people that wrote the Bible interpreted what God was saying correctly? I don't. None of us do. None of us. It's all based on faith, right? They always say have faith. And I don't have faith in human beings because human beings are fallible. Being a Christian means following the only perfect person, Jesus. Yeah. Sure. Jesus, God. I believe in God. I believe God's real. God is absolutely real. I just don't think a lot of the earthly religions got it right. All we should do is follow Christ, take the advice of churches as an opinion. Exactly. Republic Boss nails it right there. You should only take it as an opinion because these are people just like you and I. These are people just like you and I. They're not perfect. They're not infallible. They're absolutely fallible, and they make mistakes. Someone who says I'm against abortion but in favor of the death penalty is not really pro-life. So someone who says that I'm against abortion but I'm in agreement with the inhumane treatment of immigrants who are in the United States, I don't know if that's pro-life. Dude, go screw yourself. We're talking about two completely different things. We're talking about people that need to be put to death because they are unsalvageable, a threat to society, and have committed a heinous crime. Those are the people being put to death. And then you want to talk about the inhuman treatment of immigrants. What's inhumane about giving these people food, giving them shelter, giving them clothing, and then giving them a free ticket back home? What's inhumane about that? What's inhumane is breaking into my country and then profiting off of the labor of all of my fellow Americans and then sending all that money back home or working illegally under the table, undermining the labor of this country. That's inhumane. Tyler, look at the Council of Nicaea. What is that, Guido? I don't know what that is. The internet response was swift and harsh. How do you become a pope and remain an absolute turbo normie? He probably has hate has no home here sign on his line. Brett Weingart. Catholics need to return to believing the word of God rather than relying solely upon the teachings of faulty human judgment provided by old men seeking favor from unrepentant politicians. Yep, absolutely. But like I said, I don't even know if you can follow the Bible. The Bible got it mostly right, but I don't believe it 100%. Abortion is the greatest tragedy of our time. Robert Cardinal Sarah. Yeah. Guys, more people have died from abortion than men have died in war. Like that, that's the statistic. I think it's from like the last 60 years or something like that. The last 60 years, we've killed more babies through abortion than men have died in war in all of history. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Bro, the Vatican had its own execution. Yeah, you're talking about the death penalty. Be like, oh, that's not what the Bible teaches. What's this? What's this right here? Oh yeah, you guys used to execute people. What about the Crusades? What happened with the Crusades? Anyway, also worth mentioning by the Pope's own standard, Saint Thomas Aquinas is not pro-life. Here's what Aquinas had to say about the death penalty. It is lawful for judges to inflict punishments. Saint Thomas Aquinas. And then let's see. I guess we could read this. Yeah. Men who are on earth are set over others, are ministers of divine providence, but it is in the order of providence that the wicked be punished. Good stands in no need of evil, but the other way about. Whatever then is of necessity for the preservation of good cannot be itself evil, but for the preservation of concord among men, it is necessary for penalties to be inflicted on the wicked. The common good is better than the good of the individual. Therefore, some particular good must be withdrawn for the preservation of the common good. But the life of certain pestilent fellows is a hindrance to the common good. That is the concord of human society. Hence the apostle says, "He beareth not the sword in vain." Romans XIII 4:1, or is that I Peter 2? Well, look, I don't know Roman numerals off the top of my head. What is that? Romans 13, 4:1, Peter 2, 14. Hereby is excluded the error of those who say the corporal punishments are unlawful and quote in support of their error such text as "Thou shalt not kill." Exodus XX 13. Let both grow until the harvest. But these are frivolous allegations, for the same law which says thou shalt not kill adds afterwards, thou shalt not suffer prisoners to live. And as for both growing until the harvest, how that is to be understood appears from what follows. Lest perchance in gathering the tares ye root out along with them the wheat also. In the passage, then the killing of the wicked is forbidden where it cannot be done without danger to the good, as happens when the wicked are not yet clearly marked off from the good by manifest sins, or when there is ground of apprehension that the wicked may involve many good men in their ruin. The fact of the wicked being open to conversion so long as they live does not preclude their being open also to the just punishment of death. Indeed, the danger threatening the community from their life is greater and more certain than the good expected by their conversion. Besides, in the hour of death, they have every faculty for turning to God, well, that's a little scribbled out, penance. And if they are so obliged, or I'm assuming that it's obliged, it's blotched out right there, that even in the hour of death, their heart will not go back upon its wickedness. A fairly probable reckoning may be made that they never would have returned to a better mind. Yeah, so here you have Saint Thomas Aquinas. Literally, he lays it out right here, and he even cites text from the Bible saying that no, there's absolutely just punishment for the wicked. And if anything, he quoted right here that thou shalt not suffer prisoners to live. But it says ... So I wonder if there's something in between there. But thou shalt not suffer prisoners to live. Yeah, that's fair. I don't think if someone commits a heinous crime at the age of 20 that we all agree should be punishable by death, we should not then allow that 20-year-old to live into his 80s or even up to 100, depending on how well he serves himself. 60 plus years, 60 to 80 years sitting in a jail cell. Not only is that a burden on society and the tax dollars for the people that have to watch him and take care of him, but that's also just cruel to him. If he's not able to come back from the brink, he's irredeemable in the eyes of society and the eyes of himself, then the best course of action would to just be to end his life. That's ultimately what it comes down to. If we have a person who is so broken and so full of sin that they refuse to repent, they don't see the error of their ways, and there's no hope for them ever coming back, the best thing that we can do as a society is to just get rid of them. Why stick them in a jail cell? It doesn't make sense. I see a lot of you guys are in the chat. I'll read a few of them. Rage Flower said Jesus time. The Crusades, at least the first few, were justified. If anyone wants to understand how probable the Bible is, just look into Frank Turek's 6 E's. I have never heard of that. Islam is the reason for the Crusades. Yeah, I see a lot of talk about a new crusade starting up. As for canon, the council established which books would be in the Bible, establishing biblical canon. Well, the first few of them. Yeah, Frank Turek is wonderful. Yeah, isn't there books that they removed from the current day Bible because they like felt like it was not proper teaching or something? The first few was very wait, what? After a while, the Templar got greedy and wanted money and power. He was power hungry. That is much more poetic way of saying kill them all and let God sort them out. Yeah, basically, our sergeant nails it. Too long, didn't read. Our sergeant got it. Anyway, yeah, we'll move along here. If I missed anything of what you guys said, I'm sorry, but we're gonna move things along. Frank Turek was a speaker at Charlie's service. Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of that individual.